So what if the biggest challenges in your life, the ones you fight against with everything you've got, are actually the doorway to your greatest growth? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical idea that could totally transform how you approach, well, everything. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. It could be anything: a health issue, a tough spot in a relationship, a career setback. Our first instinct is always to push back, to fight, to wrestle that problem to the ground. But what if that very instinct is the thing that's keeping us stuck? Get ready for this, because this is the core idea that just changes everything. The real source of our pain, it's not the problem itself. It's our resistance to the problem. It's the internal fight. That's a huge shift in perspective. So let's really unpack what that means. All right, first up, let's explore this paradox. We're going to see why our natural instinct to fight and control a problem so often just makes it bigger, and how understanding this is really the key to a whole different way of living. This brings us to what we can call ego-driven strength. It's that little voice in our head that's always insisting, I gotta fix this, I have to control this, I can solve this all by myself. And yeah, that sounds noble, right? But more often than not, it's the very thing that's digging us deeper into our own suffering. Think about it like this. Remember learning to swim? At first, what do? You panic, you flail around, using all your muscle to stay up. And what happens? You sink. The only way you float is when you stop fighting, when you relax, and you just trust the water to hold you up. Well, life's biggest challenges are kind of the same. Sometimes, letting go of the struggle is the only way you're going to find your buoyancy. So if we're not supposed to fight every hardship, then what are they for? This leads us to a really powerful new way of looking at things, reframing difficulty not as some kind of punishment, but as a gift, as an absolutely essential opportunity for us to grow. Man, this quote just gets right to the heart of it. The idea is that life is a training ground for your soul. And think about it. If you only ever pick the easy exercises at the gym, you're never going to build real strength. Suffering, in this view, isn't a mistake. It's actually a feature of the curriculum. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction, the difference between talent and virtue. See, talent is something you're born with. It's a gift. But virtue, we're talking about things like resilience, compassion, real courage. That's different. Virtue isn't given to you, it's forged. It can only be developed when you face down challenges and choose how you're going to respond. So the next time a problem shows up in your life, try this. Try to see it not as a failure or a punishment, but as a test question. Like a little pop quiz from the universe, designed specifically to help you build a new strength that you didn't even have before. Okay, so we've covered the why behind reframing struggle. Now let's get into the how. This section is all about practical, real-world tools you can use when you're right in the thick of it. I absolutely love this one. It's called the 80% rule. And really, it's about giving yourself permission to be human. Instead of demanding a perfect 100% performance from yourself all the time, just aim for 80%. Now, this isn't an excuse to be lazy. It's a compassionate way of recognizing that real growth happens through messy, imperfect attempts, not by waiting around for some flawless execution. And this is just so important because chasing perfection, it leads to paralysis. The fear of making a mistake keeps us from doing anything at all, right? But when we shift our focus to learning, we give ourselves the freedom to try, to fail, and to get just a little bit better today than we were yesterday. Here's another really powerful tool. Ask yourself this question every single morning. And the point isn't to be morbid or anything. It's to cut through all the noise, the little worries, the procrastination, and to get you focused on what truly matters right now. So you see how these pieces fit together? When you combine that 80% rule with the last day question, you get this beautiful result. You stop obsessing over some flawless future or regretting a messy past. Your entire focus shifts to making today, this imperfect, fleeting, precious day, as meaningful and valuable as it can possibly be. To make it a golden today. But look, even with the best tools, we all get stuck sometimes. So this next section is about tackling the biggest internal obstacle we face, a powerful thought loop that keeps us replaying our failures over and over again. This is what's often called attachment. A good way to think about it in modern terms is as a destructive thought loop. You know that feeling? It's when your mind gets caught on a single failure or an insecurity, and it just spins and spins, going over the same painful ground and getting you absolutely nowhere. So, how in the world do you break that loop? Well, here are 4 really clear strategies. First, shift your mindset from taking to giving. Focus on what you can contribute to others. Second, redirect that energy.
Take the time you'd normally spend worrying and use it for skill building instead. Third, reframe your goal. You have to realize that true victory is at the soul level. It's about inner growth, not just winning on the outside. And finally, change your focus. Deliberately look toward the future you can change, not the past you can't.
And here's the really cool part. All this inner work, it's not just about you. Once you change your relationship with your own struggles, it fundamentally transforms your relationships with everyone else. This is such a profound idea. We're all taught to hide our weaknesses, to put on a brave face. But what if your greatest struggle, the thing you worked so hard to overcome, is actually the most valuable gift you have to offer? It becomes a prescription, a roadmap for someone else who's walking that same path. Your pain literally becomes your purpose. And this whole philosophy, it even extends to finding a life partner. The advice is pretty counterintuitive. Stop looking. Just stop searching. Instead, focus all that energy on building yourself into the kind of person your ideal partner would be attracted to. The focus shifts from finding the right person to becoming the right person. See, the goal isn't to find some perfect person out there. A true partnership is more like two artists working with clay. You start as two separate pieces, and over time, through mutual effort and understanding and love, you shape each other. You create something new and beautiful together. Okay, so as we wrap up this whole journey from personal struggle all the way to deep connection, it all comes down to one final empowering challenge for you. Let's make this real. Forget about forever. Just for the next 24 hours, what if you decided to consciously filter your thoughts, to only allow the bright, the constructive, the forward-looking ones to stick around? If you did that, what single different decision would that lead you to make first thing tomorrow morning? Really think about it. Thanks so much for joining me.